Okay, so you're probably expecting the reason of the day for why I can't get a new video out in the near future, and yeah, not really any excuse this time. It's just me, because yeah, I've kind of been on a course to this point ever since I joined Channel Frederator. Like literally, all of my focus and all of my energy has gone to improving these videos, thinking of new videos, thinking of trying to find the time to make these videos, and so yeah, one problem there is that I've kind of become disorganized. I don't really have a point to work on these set aside every day. It's just kind of like whenever I can spare a moment, and I mean it's kind of awkward that way. Just I mean it's harder to be enthusiastic about it that way because I mean you're never like, all right, now it's time, let's get it done. Instead, you always feel like, oh, I gotta. When can I find some time? I mean, whatever. So all right, and that's led to another problem that I was kind of becoming burnt out on it. I realized that specifically uh, after I finished the Twilight's Kingdom review, when I started trying to work on some new ones that in some ways were even more complicated, and I won't tell you what they are because I'd still like to put them out eventually. But yeah, I kind of realized while I was working on it and while I was not getting them done nearly as fast as I wanted to, because I mean they were really dragging, and I just kind of realized that yeah, I really don't want to be doing this, and you know that's really not what it should be when this kind of thing. So all right, I think the thing for me to do is to just take a step back, get myself organized, get everything on track, and yeah, be ready to go into season 5 and just hit the ground running. And in that sense, I'm glad that this happened now and not during season 5 because I do want to come into that at full speed ahead. I mean, because for me and for the people watching these videos, that's going to be uh, probably, I mean, that's going to be the biggest thing in the Brony fandom right now. So, all right. In the meantime, though, I do still want to at least address a few things, just talk about some stuff before season 5 starts, such as my hopes and what just expectations for season 5. But all right, first of all, though, before that, I think I'd like to talk about my final thoughts on season 4, just in case any of you want to go over that, talk about it a little bit. So all right, just try to lay it on the table, and I do have bullet points this time because I was always so bad at these vlogs. So in theory, hopefully I won't ramble as much. But all right, basically along the lines of what I said in the videos I made, I do think season 4 was good. I did like it. I do think it was a big comeback, and I am looking forward to season 5 based on it. But I do stop short, however, of calling it the best season to date. I've been told that it won a couple polls saying it was the best season, and that is where I draw the line. But I'm not, however, surprised that that's happening because, I mean, I've reviewed shows before, not to this great of an extent, but yeah, reviewed them before, and I've lived this before, where, yeah, oftentimes, unless there's just too many seasons, that, yeah, fans will rally around the new ones, but the most recent ones a little more, for the same reason that you spend more time playing with the brand new shiny toy than with the ones you've owned for a while now, or the brand new game if it's a game that depends mostly on its technicals to impress. But anyway, because I mean, yeah, you already had the old one. I mean, you know that why would you want to re-experience that when you can have this whole new one that's added new stuff to it? And yeah, I mean that's it's better, isn't it? It's added new things. It's taken it to the next level. And actually, though, the effect I've found, you know, firsthand and watching other people is that okay, once you're done with this new toy, quote unquote, and then something even newer comes along, and then the previously new toy starts to look outdated. It's like, okay, yeah, I mean, I like this new one just fine. You know, it's really good, but I mean, now the other one feels outdated too. I mean, geez, what was the first one even any good at all? I mean, how did that win me over in the first place? It must seem really just downright primitive now. If I watch, I mean, geez, maybe I should be embarrassed that I ever liked it. But then when you actually go back and watch it again, then surprise, surprise, it can actually be kind of refreshing. You know, it can feel like it's free of the clutter that some of these newer ones might have taken on. It can feel sort of different. It isn't depending on quite the same appeal. It can remind you of what you liked about it in the first place that wasn't quite the same as these newer ones. And yeah, and then sometimes what can happen from there is that it all does fall into place, like exactly how good each of these um, each of these episodes are from a more consistent standpoint, and you're usually okay going with your first reaction towards each of them, and not that if you rewatch something, you can't pick out flaws that you didn't notice before. But oftentimes, like people like to think that hindsight is 20/20, but actually that can add a new context that you weren't meant to experience it in. Like I mean, like I said, when you've got the new flashy toy, and you're like, oh well, this one doesn't have all of this stuff that the new flashy one added on, and I mean, and I've already seen that, so I mean, I'm watching it again now, just already knowing what's coming. Already, that's not the context you were meant to experience it in. So, okay, sometimes you need to put a little distance between yourself and these two different points, and that's what a third newest one of all can do. It can put some distance between you and these two different this new old toy and this old toy, like that. Uh, can put some distance between you and them and get you to realize just okay where they stand from the same. When you know what, that just became way too complicated, and that's why I was always so bad at these vlogs. But I think you get what I'm saying. That yeah, like once you are able to look at them from a neutral, them both from a neutral standpoint, then that's where it becomes clear. And I think that's what people lose sight of while they're still watching new episodes as they're coming out. That yeah, adding new stuff, getting more complex. That's not better. That's just different. Some people do prefer that. Some people do prefer feeling like they've gone a little deeper, and some people do prefer. If any of you makes a deeper joke in the comments section, I will never let you watch one of my videos again. But okay, so and then some people prefer just the raw inspiration of the original dynamic. Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's what feels like. I mean, that's what won people over in the first place, and sometimes that's what they prefer watching. But again, that's all preference. That's not which one did the show do better. It varies from show to show. Like Avatar: The Last Airbender seemed like it was really good at just painting a picture of its characters as it went on. Exploring more of what makes them tick and just making them more lovable and more identifiable, and just taking them to making you excited to see what came next. So, okay, that's one that I would say was better in its later seasons, but Friendship is Magic, on the other hand, I definitely think was better in its earlier seasons. I think that okay, Friendship is Magic is all about this friendship, this dynamic between the characters, what makes each of them tick, and how they play off each other. And I think that its strongest point was definitely from the beginning of this friendship, where they were getting their feet wet, getting to know each other, and some of them that already knew each other, but yep, getting to know each other better, spending more time together. From there to the midpoint of just okay, befriending each other on the level that you've befriended a lot of your best friends. I'm sure that was okay, all very identifiable, and it seemed to know it was identifiable. It seemed really excited to bring that to the table and show you what it understood about what makes characters like this tick and what makes friendships like this tick, and and from that stemmed a great sense of fun, that just a great sense of excitement to see what they could bring to the table. Like I mean, see what they could do to enhance the effect. Like there were so many unexpected touches, like Twilight bursting into flames when she got really mad, or the Benny Hill chase scenes, or the songs from other musicals reworked and put into some of the episodes. Like Art of the Dress, I said was originally Putting It Together from Sunday in the Park with George, and At the Gala was, as some of you might know, since the movie just came out, was Ever After from Into the Woods. And I mean, yeah, just I guess the writers just were really excited to try stuff like that, and I mean, it really showed, and it was unexpected. It was not just random though, because I mean, something can be random and stupid, boring, just lame, whatever. But no, it was unexpected. You didn't see it. It enhanced the effect in a really creative way that you didn't see coming. So, all right, and the thing is now, I mean, while that was very identifiable, now this friendship has gone to a point that is a little less common. I mean, because it's become more of a much more personal sort of a bond. Because I mean, real friends real friends do not spend time with each other on this. I mean, they're not in each other's personal lives and confiding with each other on this. I said real friends. Friends, common friendships are not on this level. This is something that's much more loving, much more personal, much more, you name it. I mean, well, now they're probably going to be spending their lives together, working together, because they just got this castle that, that has given all of them a throne to do whatever they're going to do with it. The season 5 trailer gives you some hints, but anyway, though, so yeah, I mean, that's different, and I mean that can also be fun to watch, and I mean, but it's much less common, and it can be less identifiable. You need to have a sense of that too if you're going to make it identifiable on the same level, and that's probably harder to do as a writer because, okay, I mean, you probably haven't lived it as much. Like, I mean, I know maybe, well, I mean, all the people I know, I the most friendships I've seen, like, I mean, there's nobody I know who has more than like one or two friendships like this on this level, if even that. So okay, 7 friends. Spike is on the set, so yeah, 7 friends. Finding this together is something pretty significant, which can be really great in its own way, but it's harder to do, and a lot of shows have kind of messed it up. Like, I mean, heck, some shows tried to pretend that, okay, no, that's just what a real friendship is. Like, I mean, if you have, I mean, yeah, that's the only kind of friendship worth having. It's that, I mean, if you just, well, Yu-Gi-Oh is my favorite example like this. Okay, yeah, once you make a friend, if it's not on this level right away, it's not a real friendship. That where you're giving your lives for each other, or yeah, taking bullets and yeah, overcoming everything, or you're able to resist any influence or any evil powers because your friendship is so strong. That's real friendship. It, no, it's not. I mean, I remember watching shows like that, just thinking, yeah, wow, if I ever tried to confide in my friends this much, most of them would probably just laugh at me. I mean, because, yeah, I mean, real friendships, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you like each other's company, enjoy spending time together, you have a sense of group loyalty, you want good things for each other, I mean, that's all well and good, but, something like what the gang have worked their way up to, that's something on kind of a whole nother level. Just, I mean, where you want to work with each other that much and that closely and all that. I mean, that is, I mean, like I said, there's a level of love there now. It's not just, not just a matter of enjoying spending time together. And there's nothing wrong with a friendship where you just enjoy spending time together. Those are very important, and that's why those earlier seasons were so good and so identifiable and so good at morals. But yeah, it's become something different now, and something that's harder to do, and something that I don't think the seasons that where it's reached that point have done quite as well. Well, actually, I don't want to say season three's problem was that it didn't know how to do it as well so much as just that it didn't care about what it was doing with the friendships. Because I mean, most of the episodes didn't really explore the friendships or the characters even so much. A lot of them were just formula, like games ponies play, the Inspector General formula. Both Spike episodes, the saving the life, uh, have to repay the debt formula. You have a whole like 6 or 7 valuable things, and then you have to keep paying someone with each of them as you're going on this adventure. Yeah, formula. And I mean, some of them did it better than others, but bottom line, they were just formula. They weren't really using them they were formula that it was formula that didn't explore the characters or the friendships or any of that. So it just didn't seem to care. It just seemed more interested in what shenanigans these characters could get into, unless the material was already on the table for them. Because like Rainbow Dash's thing with Scootaloo, that had been around since season 1. Rainbow Dash's thing with the Wonderbolts and Wonderbolts Academy, that had been around. And I mean, season 3 was at very least competent in its craft. It was able to deliver those perfectly well, and I mean, it resulted in some of the best episodes of the season. I did think Wonderbolts Academy dropped the ball at the end, but I mean, well, that happens sometimes. I mean, it's not like the other seasons never did that, so. Okay, but well, the exception though was actually Too Many Pinkie Pies. I don't know what happened there, but if it was just yeah, still fresh out of season 2, or I mean, I should look up again who wrote that, because I mean, it might have been someone who was really excited to do this for a while, but for whatever reason, I mean, maybe because Pinkie Pie is not quite as well established as the other character, or I mean, someone who's a little more in the dark. She's much more of a gag character, and I mean, while episodes have explored her before, I mean, how could you ever fully explore what makes someone like Pinkie Pie tick? I mean, there is only one Pinkie Pie. There might be several Rainbow Dashes, several Twilight Sparkles, several Fluttershies. More or less, there is only one Pinkie Pie. But all right. So, but for whatever reason, having to explore her, I get it just seemed like it really made them step it up, and just it resulted in this really hilarious, wonderful Pinkie Pie episode. So, okay, the exception count is at 1 there, but all right. So, but